What's up? What's up? It's your girl Nicole Renee, the business tea. We're back at it. So you already know when I have a crazy experience, when I have something that I feel you can benefit from, if I have some resources, you already know I'm gonna come and talk about it. So this time, I had a experience with an establishment. So it's a good experience, but I feel like it's becoming a big problem with business owners who are new, who don't understand the in and outs of their vendors. And so when you have things like that, you believe that business owners need to do a little research, they need to slow their processes down, survey their customers, get more feedback, and understand what the customers want when they visit the establishment. And so businesses be wondering why they be struggling, and sometimes it just be the smallest thing that you can work on to fix the quality of the service you offer. And so when it's so small, like when the problem is so small, I like to talk about it because sometimes people over exaggerate and they make things bigger than what it really is. And so when you decipher and when you double down, like when you take a problem and you solve it backwards, you can understand how small the issue is. But if you never go back and analyze the problem, you will never understand how small the issue is, how small the solution is. Like, corporations be thinking that they have to spend so much money on finding a solution to the problem. But if you just break the problem down and kind of figure out the root of the problem, it's actually so minor. So let's just get to it. So I went to I don't know if they call it, let me see. I don't know if they call it a club or a lounge. I don't know what they call this place. Like I'm still trying to figure out. I'm still trying to figure out. Are they giving the club vibe or the lounge vibe? So they don't really have a dedicated dance floor, right? But this place was fun. Like, it was so fun, and the decor was so awesome. Like, they had the flower wall, the wall where you can take the picture with the beautiful flowers and all that stuff. It was amazing. The decor was really nice. Now, I didn't get a chance to taste any of their food. I don't even know what they have on the menu here. So, I'm not sure. So I'm still trying to figure out if this is a lounge or if it's a club. Could be a club. I haven't really got that understanding yet. But this is the thing. When you have a platform, you can use your platform for whatever you want to use it for. Some people go to restaurants and they base their experience off of the quality of the food. See, what I base my experience off of is the way that the security is handled, how the place makes me feel when I enter, the decor, the way that it makes me feel, because sometimes like they have themes. And so if you market that, if you come to this restaurant, you're going to feel like you're in an exotic African establishment, right? So when I go there, I'm going to visualize that I am in an African exotic establishment. I'm going to look for that. And so the moment I don't get that feeling, that's what I base my experience off of. But I don't base my experience off of food. I mean, even if I'm at a restaurant, yeah, I'm going to say, okay, the food was good, it was all right. But my main concern, right, on my platform, my main concern is the experience from the actual business. So how the business made me feel when I got there. What was the owner trying to accomplish when the customers arrive? And so that's what I make my judgment based off of. The establishment was awesome. Like, and the inside, the decor was fine. I didn't eat there, so I can't say how the food was. So this video review has nothing to do with the quality of the food, but more so about the experience. Okay, so shout out to this business. This business is doing their thing. Like, I really like the whole setup, but I want to know, is this a club or is it a lounge? Because that can make some turns too. That can kind of help me with my review. But we'll just judge it based off of what I experienced. Okay, positive vibes. Like, there was no issues all night. You know, things went well. It was ran smoothly. It was very busy. It was on a Saturday and it was very busy. The DJ did a wonderful job, kept the crowd, jamming. And I feel like they have something going. They got to keep this going, because things like this we need in the community. We need things to do in the community. So I would say that this establishment most definitely needs to stick around, continue to thrive, and don't hesitate to understand what the community want. Okay, what the community is looking for when it comes to amenities and events and things to do in the city. And I think sometimes businesses forget to challenge that. They forget to check on that. They forget to get an understanding of what the people want. All right, so I found out just by going to the website, I found out what they are trying to accomplish here. Okay, so this is their story. Forgot Me Not Kitchen and Cocktail Lounge is an upscale restaurant that offers an unparalleled experience and a unique menu. Our ambience and quality service are unmatched. We are an elegantly revamped lounge offering cocktails, hookah, bottle service, patio space, late night dining, and entertainment. Okay, so with this we can make a better review, right? We can make a better review, and we can kind of not cater it so much towards a club, because if we were going towards a club, it would be something totally different versus a lounge. So we'll call it a lounge. But the biggest word that stands out to me here is upscale. Okay, when we think about upscale, we think about something that is safe, something that is for executives, something you can get all fancy, come at your best dress and just have a good time. And upscale is a big word. Okay, and that is an expectation word. That is a word where you put anywhere in your business clause, you're going to have to meet that standard. You're going to have to meet a certain standard because you use that choice of word, upscale. Okay, so now that we know that this is an upscale lounge, I just found this out. I did not know what it was until I went onto the website. Okay, so now I want to talk about my experience when I got there. All right, so we pull up and they have this, let me see, how do you explain it? So when you drive up, they have security at the door. It kind of looked like a red carpet type of setup. You park like on another side and you pull up. They have valet parking and they have security there, and security is searching and security is telling people, you can't have this, you can't have that. And so at that moment, I'm feeling safe. I'm like, okay, they security on point. And so we were waiting for other guests, right? And so we parked right in front of the establishment. And me and the person I was with, we're just sitting there checking, right? Because I'm from the security industry. Anywhere I go, if I see that they have security, I'm going to see what type of security service they have. What type of security service they have. That's very important, right? Because for one, you're an upscale lounge and you are giving off the impression that this establishment is safe, right? So in my mind, I'm supposed to feel safe, okay? So we're just sitting up in the car and we're watching the front door. And so I'm watching the front door to see if the security guard is going to search everyone that come in and out of there, right? And so we stayed there watching about 5 minutes, probably 5 minutes, and we noticed that this one particular guy, he left out, right? He came out the establishment and he went to his vehicle. Okay. When he returned, he was not searched, right? That's a big issue to me. Then we noticed the women that were there, the women that were going inside were not searched, right? Because, women have bags. They have, they carry the weapon for the guy. And so that was a concern. Now, when you're in Texas, it's an open carry, right? Anybody can carry. It's open carry. But the moment that you tell me that I cannot carry in your establishment, I'm going to put my life in your hands and I'm going to say, okay, you are responsible for my life. You are responsible for my safety. I'm going into this lounge and I'm expecting to leave this lounge the way that I came in because you're telling me to leave my weapon. And you're not just telling me to leave my weapon. You're telling everyone to leave their weapon. And so I'm expecting for it to be upscaled and I'm expecting for it to be a safe environment. But to sit in front of this lounge and see that security is picking and choosing who they want to search, right? It's a concern to me. Now, some people may say this is not a big concern, but the problem is who has a gun inside of this lounge? Because somebody must have a gun because you didn't search everyone, right? So the person I was with said, don't get excited about this. Let's just keep watching. So like 10 minutes go by. And I said, well, what are you looking for? Like, what are you expecting to see as you sit here and watch the front door? And so he said, well, I'm just trying to see if they're searching everyone. So at that point, I knew that he was expecting for it to be a safe place just as well as I was expecting the same thing. And so we had what do you call it? We had the woman that looked like a guy. I don't know, it's a very touchy topic. I don't know what we would want to call them, but we had a woman that looked like a guy, right? Totally looked like a guy. She steps up to the front door and the security guard raised his hand and he was like, oh no, I'm not going to search you, right? This woman looks like a guy. So what do we do here? Like, do we just let this person go in? They may have a gun. They may be going in there to drink alcohol. They may start set tripping and boom, there you go. You have a liability. Okay. That's one of my concerns. Then we see another guy. He comes in, right, with his partner. Him and a female they get searched. Then they go inside. This same guy, he comes back out. Go to his vehicle. When he's done with his vehicle, like probably 1 minute, he goes back in. And he didn't get searched when he went back in. He just told he whispered something to the guard and like, hey, I just came from out here. I'm going back in. And at that moment, me and the person I was with looked at each other. We was like, oh my God, did you just see that? And this was happening so fast, but it was in the midst of about 20 minutes total. We just sat there and surveyed the whole operation, the security operation and what was going on. So all of that happened, right? Then we go in, we get out to go inside, and we notice that there were like four guards, four security guards at the door, and each of them had on different uniform shirts. And one guy didn't even have on a brand, he didn't have on a patch. So that was a concern, because now we have four different security guard companies at the door. So that means we have four different chiefs. So that means everybody is doing their own thing, because you can't one chief can't tell another chief what to do. So I'm saying, what is going on here? Because one guy didn't even have any patches on. So that means he's not certified. And then you have three other security officers with different company security logos on their patches. And then while we're standing there, you have a police officer that walks out, just seeing what was going on. And so at that point, I didn't feel as safe as I did when I first pulled up, because when I sat and assessed this, what I got from it turned the experience around. Okay. And now that I know that this is an upscale lounge, this is something that I will most definitely recommend that this business make some modifications to. Okay. No, we can't search everyone, but we could at least attempt, or we can give that presence that we are searching everyone. Okay. And for the women, it's okay to look inside their bags to see if they have something. It's okay to look in their bags to see if they have something. That's a start. That will minimize weapons getting inside. But if you have the security guards not checking women, not checking the LGBTQ community, why are we checking the men? Because you telling me that the person that I come in here with couldn't bring his weapon in, right? So, of course, we had to try it. So the people that I came with tried to get in with their weapon. Okay, and they said, no, you cannot come in with your weapon. And we don't want any problems, so we're not going to say, hey, we just sat in front of this lounge for 20 minutes and noticed that you did not check everyone. Okay, you did not, because we sat here and watched. And so we could be petty like that, but we don't have the time. So we just said, okay, we'll go and put the weapons back in the vehicle. You guys already know, I'm packing. I'm not going to sit here in front. I'm not going to lie. This is open carry, in the whole state. So it's okay. Okay. But of course, we tried to get in with our weapon. And so when you have so many chiefs at the door, right, doing their own thing, you telling me I can't bring my weapon in, but you got a host of people with weapons inside, I'm sure, because you didn't check the women. You randomly checked the men. But just because, we tried to get in and you actually didn't want to let us in, now I'm going to put my life in your hands, and you're responsible for the safety and the security of this establishment, right? So, okay, we get in. They have one cop inside. For the whole establishment, there was one cop on duty that day. And he walked in, he did his patrol, he did a good job. He did what he was supposed to do. He walked around in the vicinity and he checked different parts of the lounge. He went by the restroom, he went, by the VIP section, he was by the bar. So he did what he was supposed to do. But where I didn't feel safe was the people who were at the front door. So even the security guards at the front door had an impact on the police officer that was inside. And I think that it should go the other way around. I think the police officer should be at the front door and the security guards maybe should be in the inside, because the way they were running the operation in the front, there's going to be an upcoming situation that's going to occur, because from just sitting there, the liabilities that the security guards are causing, they're minor right now and they're easy to fix. But if you don't catch on, or survey if you don't survey what your vendor is offering, or if you don't analyze what your vendor is offering, that can become a big problem. And so what I would change is to put the security guards, maybe put them through a little training on what your customers want, what they're expecting when they arrive. If you're going to search people, or if you're going to say no weapons inside, I'm expecting that to be all across the board. And so at least the women need their bags checked, because we need to see if they have a weapon. Okay. Because they didn't check my bag, I was able to go in, with a knife and mace. And okay, we didn't have a weapon, but if anything go down, I still have some type of protection. Now, I don't go to places looking for any trouble. I'm not a violent person, and I don't intentionally cause problems with people. When I went, I didn't drink, so I'm not a drinker, and basically it was not intentionally, like I'm not looking to take a weapon because I know, I'm gonna start something, or something's gonna happen with the group of people that I'm with. No, it's not that. It's not that type of vibe. The problem is, when I go out, I want to be safe. And so, like I said, some people rate their experience based off of the quality of the food, but I'm more concerned of the safety. And so wherever I go, I'm expecting to be safe. I want it to be a safe environment. So this place, they are doing well as far as the decor, they're doing well as far as the operation in general. But when it comes to security, there is some things that I would suggest that they tighten up, because that's where the liability is going to come, is when you have drinks for sale, when you have people in the building who have weapons. That's where you're going to get your main liabilities. That's where things is going to start happening, when you have security at the front door and who don't know what they're doing, and each of them are their own business owner doing their own thing, and you can't tell them anything because they each think they're the boss. So it's really boils down to, are these guards certified? Are these guards really in compliance? And that would be one of the things I would recommend too, because being in the security industry, having a security background, you most definitely, as a business owner, you want to make sure when you hire security providers, you want to make sure that they're certified. So that's going to take a little research. That's going to take a little time for you to go and research who this person is, and are they a part of a company? Is this operation that the security guard is under, is it a legitimate business? Because if anything goes down with the safety of the establishment, you want to be able to tackle it through the security company, not that security guard. Okay, that's not going to work. And so as a business owner, that's where I come in at and say, hey, you think you have a problem. You don't have a problem until you have a security problem. Okay, when someone is shot at your lounge, when a fight break out and somebody get hurt, these are the things you want to minimize. And the way you minimize it is make sure that these security guards are certified and they are endorsed by a actual company. And when you're being invoiced, when you're paying for the service, it's actually being paid to an actual company, not a security guard. Because by law, a security guard cannot be at that door as the owner. They have to be under an owner. Okay. And if they are the owner and it's their business, fine. But what it looked like to me is that these guards are working, doing a extra job, and they're hustling. And they're not supposed to be there. They're not certified. And the way they wear their uniform tells you if these guards are certified or not. And some people will say, how do you know that? There are different ways. Like when you're an expert in your field, it is certain things that you can profile a person about to know if they're an expert, if they're experienced, or if they're, rookies. And so one of the things I noticed with these security guards at the door. They each had on different patch. One guy had on no patch, and none of them have a name tag. Okay, so when a person does not have a name tag and they're doing security, it's because they are hiding something and they don't want to disclose their name. Okay, so that's one of the key points. Now, I would recommend if you're a business owner and you have a security guard, providing security for your business, always make them wear a name tag. Like, that's for sure. And make sure they have a patch on their uniform. On their shoulder, they're supposed to have a patch, which is from a company that they represent. Okay. And whatever company that is, you need to make sure that company is familiar with the service that this security guard is providing you. Now, a lot of business owners, they try to cut corners, and cost is a major concern. And so they go and they hire these side hustling security guards because they want to keep down cost. Listen, security is not something that you want to cut cost on, because you paying this guard a little bit of money to give the security presence. But if you have a fight that break out, or if you have a security breach, anything, you can have any type of security issue, that security guard that you paid chump change to is not going to be able to handle the security outbreak that you're going to have. If a fight break out, that security guard is not going to be able to handle that fight. So you're going to have to call the security company and tell them, hey, we have a fight that broke out. Can you send backup? Now, if you got one guard that you hired because they're doing a side job, who is he going to call? He's going to call his cousins, his brother. You're going to have more of a issue when a fight break out. So if you're an upscale lounge, I'm suggesting that you do not cut costs when it comes to security. Okay, do a little bit more research and understand how the security business work. Okay, now I have 5 things that I would say that I would fix, and one of them is to learn the security industry. You have to learn just the bare minimum of the security industry. There is a certain license that security guards need in order to carry a weapon. Okay, and there is laws behind searching. Okay, just like they didn't touch the women, they didn't touch the woman who looked like a man. There are certain laws, but you as a business owner, it's your responsibility to know just the bare minimum of what the security industry law and policies are. It's very important. Now, I think that business owners need to analyze what the establishment need, because if you're an upscale lounge, having a police officer, it gave me a okay vibe. It kind of like made me feel a little at ease. But because I knew that the guards outside didn't know what they were doing and the police was inside, I kind of felt like he was blind with me. Like we both were blind, because he didn't know what the security guards are outside doing. And I didn't know what they were doing either, but I did know that they were not searching everyone. So it's very important to understand what the lounge need as a business owner. What do we need? What is it that we need? What type of security do we need? Because, having 4 different companies at the door could be modified, where you could have 2 police officers, right? Because they're going to respect the police officer, and the police officer is going to be more, detailed, because they're trained to do that. They're trained to be more detailed and be more observant. So you probably could do 2 police officers for the price of 4 lazy guards, 4 guards who are not in compliance. You can swap them out. And so you have to understand what your business needs. Okay. Also, understand the priorities of your customers. It's so important to understand. Like me, I'm just the customer trying to come in, have a good time with my group of people. And, me coming in and then doing a review on security safety is not that big of a deal. But at some point, you need to go back to your customers and figure out, well, what were you looking for when you came to the establishment? And I think sometimes business owners, they miss that part. They don't analyze, they don't go back and survey what the customer is looking for. And so for me as a customer, that night we spent a good amount of money. And so even if we went in there and spent nothing and just checked out the vibes, or just got a glass of water, the review still would have came. And so I'm thinking that at some point you still have to ask the customers, ask the visitors, well, what were you expecting? So me, I was expecting to feel safe. I was expecting to have a safe environment. I was expecting to receive that upscale feeling, because I've only went to this place because I've heard about it from the grapevine. Like someone was like, oh, you need to go try this place. And so that's how I ended up there. And normally that's how I end up at places, because someone referred it to me and said, oh, you will like this place, because they know what type of places I like. So when I went there, I was expecting, when I pulled up, I seen security outside, searching people. I felt like, okay, this is going to be a safe place. And so that's what I was expecting. And at some point as a business owner, you do need to survey the people, ask them, what are they looking for? And so that's very important. So that's number 4. Number 4 is survey your customers. Understand what it is that they're expecting when they visit your business. Okay, no matter if you're a lounge, you can be a hair salon, you can be Home Depot. It does not matter. Whatever business it is that you run, you always want to double back and get a survey from your visitors and your customers and figure out, when you enter this establishment, what is it that you're expecting? How are you expecting to feel? And so that is a big, big must that you must do in order to keep the establishment running smoothly and to keep people excited about your business. You got to figure out what is it that they're looking for. Okay. Also, assess what the vendor is delivering. I don't like when business owners, they just hire a vendor and they just put it all in the vendor's hand and say, well, you're the expert, take care of it. No, that's not how it goes. If you're the business owner, you are responsible for managing what the vendors are delivering. Don't allow the vendors to serve your customers and not have some type of play or not have a say-so in it. Always monitor and manage what your vendors are delivering, okay? And just to touch on this, a security guard is a vendor, right? Even if he's doing it for himself or if he's doing it for a security company, they are a vendor. They're providing a service for your guests. Always assess that service that they're delivering. Okay, because me sitting outside for 20 minutes, and not just me and someone else sitting outside for 20 minutes, and we are analyzing your business and analyzing this establishment, that's a big deal, because it shouldn't just be us doing it. You should be doing it as well. And it only took 20 minutes to figure out what was going on and how we can make changes. Like if it was my business, I've already had a list of things that I would change just to make sure that we don't have liabilities in the long run. And of course, liabilities are going to happen. Things are going to happen. Fights going to break out. Somebody may get hurt. A slip and fall. Things are going to happen. But we can minimize it when we assess what our vendors are delivering. Okay, that is a big concern. Maybe you can have a location manager who manage and monitor what the vendors are delivering. Okay, and not just security. It can be, one of the vendors, let's just say they're providing cleaning service. You have hired someone to clean up the establishment at the end of the night. You don't just leave it to them to do that. You still have to have someone go behind them, monitor and manage the work and the service that they deliver. What you pay for, you want to make sure that you're getting. Okay, so those are my 5 things that I suggest as a business owner that I feel is top priority to minimize liabilities. Now, I love this place, and I don't want this to come off as if this is a negative review, because out of a 1 to 10, I would give this place an 8.5. Okay, and that was only because I was able to get in with my knife and my mace. So we're not going to rate this place at a low number. I would say 8.5, and a 10 is it's easy to get to a 10 once we fix those little things with security. And the only reason why I'm bringing up security is because of my background, and that's what I look for when I go to different places. Okay, so I want you guys to check this place out for yourself. It's called Forgive Me Not. It's in Houston, Texas, and you have to visit this place. I mean, it is really good vibes. I would really suggest you to go visit this place. Like, you have to. It got to be on your bucket list. You have to try it. Now, my purpose of this video is just to bring awareness and to actually let business owners know that there are small things that we can fix in our business. And sometimes we think they're so big, but we can start with the small things that will help minimize liabilities in the long run. Okay. And when I think of liabilities, I'm thinking of stuff that we have no vision of happening, and things that we have to pay for, like an expense of something that took place that we could have prevented from taking place. When I'm talking liability, it's something that we could have prevented from paying. Okay, now continue to strive. Right, if you're in business and you're struggling with the security part of your business, that's something that you don't want to slack on, because you want your guests, you want your visitors to feel safe. But continue to strive. And so if you offer that presence, just try to clean it up a little bit, so in the eyes of the people, when they see it, it looks good. Okay, because sometimes when you have a set of guards at the door, if you train them well, if you get them in that meeting on the beginning of their shift and let them know, hey, this is how we're going to run things today, this is how things going to go, it will look better in the eyes of people. So if you understand what I'm saying, good. If not, you can reach out to me. But what looks good on the outside, you have no clue on what's going on the inside. And that's just like the behind the scenes part. Sometimes crazy stuff go on behind the scenes, but when it's out on the forefront, it needs to look good. Okay. And that's an upscale expectation. All right. So again, my name is Nicole Renee. This is the Business Tea. And I have my tea. I have my tea here. And the Business Tea is being very consistent. We are delivering great information about businesses, also personal issues that we may see. And so we bring it to the forefront for resources to help the next person out. So don't forget to strive, because that is very important. Keep your business going. Be consistent.
It's the Business Tea, baby.